Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and yesterday was the first day of BlizzCon where they announced a bunch of things coming to Overwatch 2, but also missed out on a lot of new announcements that a lot of people expected, especially with PvE. But today we're going to be talking about all the brand new things that you might have missed so that you know what's coming for the next, well, they announced a lot till Season 12. First thing I want to talk about are the brand new heroes. Now, I know everyone knows about Mauga, who's coming out for Season 8, who's actually available right now to play until the very end of the weekend, but did you know that there's actually going to be two new heroes coming out for Season 10 and 12? Well, we actually got our first look at both of these heroes. Now, they're just concept art, but for the Season 10 hero, this is going to be a damage hero who looks like some sort of excavator, and then for the Season 12 hero, we have a support hero who looks like she's straight out of space, dude. And of course, we obviously have Mauga, who's coming out in Season 8, but real quickly, let's touch on both of these heroes. Now, like I said before, they're just concepts. We don't have any sort of abilities or who their names are even, but I was extremely surprised to not only see the Season 8 hero, which everybody expected at that point, but to also see the next two heroes already getting, I guess not leaked, but officially leaked by Blizzard. And out of both of these heroes, the space support hero is definitely going to be probably the fan favorite out of the two, but the excavator guy, I mean, he looks alright. I just kind of wish I knew what his abilities were, but if I had to guess, I feel like we're going to get our very first sort of underground digging hero. If you know the dig move from Pokemon, you would know that they would always go underground and then they would attack. I think that's going to be the same sort of idea where this guy's going to be able to swim underneath the map and then he's going to pop out and do damage because, well, he is like an excavator, a miner, and that kind of thing. Also, I just realized this whole entire time I've been calling this hero a he. I mean, it also could be a her because the gender doesn't really seem that obvious here in this concept art, but who knows? Maybe this hero's non-binary as well. In terms of space support hero, at first I thought maybe she could be a flight hero, but then I remember, wait, she's from space. They have zero gravity in space, so I think that she's going to be able to have massive hops to be able to get on high grounds and be able to support her team that way. Again, I don't know how she's going to be supporting and giving her heals to the team, but I'm sure she'll figure out a way in some way or another. Maybe, hey, maybe with stars or something, throwing stars at your teammates, I think that'd be pretty sick. And I'm sure we'll see more information about both of these heroes the season before they're supposed to release. But the hero that is going to be releasing next season is, of course, Mauga, who I already got to play live at BlizzCon. If you didn't see my video where I had my first look at the hero, be sure to go check that out, even though the audio sound absolutely scuffed. But the way that I describe this brand new hero for those that haven't played him yet, even though you can play him for the weekend, is that he is basically a Reinhardt with two Bastion guns on both of his arms. He truly is one of the biggest and meatiest tanks in the whole entire game, and he's a lot of fun, but I definitely feel like he's going to be a tank that everybody just feeds with when they first play him, because that's exactly what I did. But to go over his hero kit very quickly, even though I will make an in-depth hero guide when I do get back to my room and I'm able to properly make the video, in terms of his weapons, he's going to have two Gatling guns that have two separate abilities. In the trailer, they don't really show it that well, but they're both going to be named Gunny and Cha-Cha. Now, Gunny is going to be the left Gatling gun that does damage, but it also lights up the enemy on fire. And his right Gatling gun, Cha-Cha, is just a normal Gatling gun that doesn't light them on fire, but it does extra damage to targets that are on fire. So both of them kind of work together, and it seems like they just both do damage, like normal Bastion damage, but they don't. They do separate damage. Now, in terms of his quote-unquote support ability, which I use the word support very loosely, is going to be his E ability, Cardiac Overdrive. And basically how this works is that nearby allies take reduced damage, and they are healed whenever they deal damage. It's a little bit complicated when you first play it, but this is like the way that you can really master Mauga, is learning to time out cardiac arrest. Cardiac overdrive, not cardiac arrest. And then, of course, he has his Reinhardt charge, which is very easy to understand. You just full-on charge the enemy where you don't get stopped by CC, and you also are able to slam at the very end. Now, you can run for, like, I think about 5 seconds and then slam, or you can activate your slam at any time. At first, I was just running straight into the wall and waiting for my charge to end so I can slam, but you don't have to do that. And if you land on somebody, you do stun them for a little bit, but if you don't, then you just do a little bit of damage and you knock them in the air for a little bit too. He also has his ultimate called Cage Fight, which is just another easy ability to understand, but there's a lot going on with this ability. So you throw down this little cylinder shield that locks you and anyone in like a 10-meter diameter in that cage match, and then the enemies are locked with the chains, where it slows them down, but not fully, but they're not able to escape because of the cage match. Now, again, you are locked in with these enemies, so you can't escape, but this is just a way for you to get easy kills, especially in a close proximity, which you really need for Mauga to get in that close proximity to do damage against. And the final quick note that you need to know about this hero is his passive ability, which is Berserk. So how this works is that if you do critical damage, you get a temporary shield. You don't get healed, you just get a temporary shield, kind of similar to like a Brigida ultimate. So you really want to be able to get crit damage, have good aim to not only get sustainability, but to also just get that extra damage off from Cha-Cha. I always get the names mixed up, Gunny and Cha-Cha, but Gunny's the fire one, Cha-Cha's the regular one. Those are the brand new heroes announced at BlizzCon. What else was shown at BlizzCon for Overwatch 2? Not a lot. In fact, nothing really, if I'm going to be honest. There was a lot talked about, like a brand new PvE mode. This is going to be a new core game mode add to quick play and competitive, where it's basically 5 CP. And I'm not going to lie, Aaron Keller didn't really do a good job of explaining Clash. How it's going to work is that in the middle of the map, there's going to be a capture point. Then whoever wins that capture point is going to move on to the next capture point that is closest to the losing team that just lost that point. And then the whole goal of this is try to capture all 5 points or have the most points until time runs out. It's a lot different than 2 CP, but it's also not. But how it is similar is that it is going to take place on original 2 CP maps such as Hanamura. Hanamura is going to be remade into a brand new map called Hanaoka. So if I can try to explain how Clash works even better with the Hanamura example, think of that area in between point A and point B. There's going to be a 5th point right there starting the game mode. And then there's probably going to be another capture point towards point A. And then near the entrance of the dungeon towards the end of point B. But then there's going to be 2 more points in the spawn room of the arcade and then the dungeon at the very end of the map. That's, I think, the best way I can describe how the map is going to be set up and how it's going to be played. Another thing that was talked about but not fully announced is that they are going to be bringing a new competitive system, or at least trying to rework it. Now, they didn't say if they were going to go back to the old SR system, which I think if you really wanted to appease competitive people, you would just go back at this point. You remade competitive, it didn't work out, you're going to be remaking the wheel for a 3rd time. But one thing that they did say that I was extremely excited about is that there's going to be brand new rewards to work for. They once again did not announce anything that it was specifically, but what I'm guessing is something like diamond weapons or ruby weapons or poop cover weapons. I don't care, just give me new weapons to work towards because I got all the gold guns. I don't care about gold weapons anymore. And then the other thing that they also mentioned were the new seasonal themes that we can expect for 2024, such as Egyptian mythology, witches, which I'm guessing is the Halloween theme for next year. But what I'm most excited about is a mirror universe where evil is good, i.e. Talon, and good is evil, i.e. Overwatch. They're going to be flipped where Overwatch is evil and Talon are the good guys. Now you might be wondering, well, that sounds all good, bro, but what about stuff like PvE? What about the Season 8 Mythic skin? What about stuff that we all kind of was expecting from Overwatch 2? And, well, they didn't talk about it, obviously. And I think the reason why they did it, and this might be on copium, is that they probably didn't want to overpromise something related to PvE, like how they did at last BlizzCon. Last BlizzCon, where they announced all the skill trees and campaign missions and Overwatch 2, and then they fumbled so hard. I'm sure that they just did not want to fumble anything with this BlizzCon and announce, like, overpromise and underdeliver once again. So they underdelivered. They hella underdelivered by only showing 2 concept pieces of the new hero, Mauga, which we already knew was coming, and talking about competitive and a new game mode and stuff like that. And, well, they definitely did their job of underpromising, but let's hope that they can overdeliver because, my God, does Overwatch really need to overdeliver for next year? I don't know. We'll just have to see, but hopefully next year for Overwatch, it's bumping. I mean, it's already been bumping for the past year, especially with the Lay Seraphim collab, but let me know what you think about everything that was announced at BlizzCon. If you're excited about the things that they talked about, because they didn't really show a lot, but I don't know. Maybe they'll show more on the second day of BlizzCon. Who knows? But until then, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.